We out here. We're out here, and we're doing some world building. This is just a quick little episode. We needed a little break from the monotony, a little bit of a break from our real life world, the real life hellscape we all live in, and we're gonna create our own reality.
Oh,
Kyle,
I love
Do
creating
you care to share
realities.
what you've been wanting to do, what you've been thinking?
So
I mean, just with this series,
I guess with the series, that's so interesting. I don't have a particular.
You don't have to talk about the specific ideas we're working on.
I don't have a particular thing in mind. I think it's fun to if we find something. Think of it like, if I could give a good example, if anyone out there has ever heard the podcast Story Break, where they'll kind of come up with an elevator pitch for a movie. And if it's good enough, they'll spend a couple episodes really deep diving off of it. And I think with this world building thing, we could kind of do something like that, where if a plot hook in something we have world building wise really sticks with us, and we maybe don't have the time to go into it in depth then and there, we want to move on to some other stuff, we make a note of it. And if it's good enough, we go back to that on the next episode, and or the next world building episode kind of thing. We don't have a title.
Have we ever talked about that podcast? Because I love Story Break.
I haven't listened in a minute, but I did enjoy Story Break when they were doing the Heaven
I used
Heist
to listen
stuff.
to it a lot. They used to not always do where they would come back to one idea and develop it further. They used to do this is what we're going for, and we're just gonna nail down what the best version of that is for fun.
Which I don't mind.
That's a
doing
very
something
good podcast.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't mind doing something in that vein, right? Where it's like that, where it's let's do a world building thing, and it could be fun and fast and loose and done. Or it's okay, we really struck a little gold on that one. Let's see if next session we do this, we can't expound on it, and then we pick. Ooh, that's how we can do it. So, and this, you're hearing us world building the world building segment.
Oh, let's go.
Podcast building.
Movie magic.
Ideas
Anyway.
on ideas on ideas.
But if we do hit up a thing and we're like, oh fuck, this actually is really cool, that's when we decide, do we go into a game with the stuff we have set up, or do we go into a world building game to really flesh it out based in some sort of parameters, something like the ground itself, or
which is what we did for Road to Redemption.
Road to Redemption.
Listeners.
Exactly. And that's just one example, but just something in that vein where it's okay, we might have an idea and it's oh, that's fun. Maybe we'll do a one shot, or maybe we'll do a thing where it's okay, we're going to do a real in-depth thing, and maybe this becomes a campaign. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't know when Road to Redemption 2 will happen, if I'm being Franklin. And so I've got
everything is in a difficult position right now.
I don't even mean in that sense. I mean from a full on just from a full on timeline writing perspective, whatever. So I'd like to work on something that maybe could be something a little more different, a little more out there, a little more not in that canon. And once we have time to come back to that story,
my hope for this series is that we basically have a good time crafting a world and maybe some power systems, magic systems.
Ooh,
maybe we
love power
come up
systems.
with some characters or ideas for characters, or roles that need to be filled, not necessarily be played for anyone. Maybe this doesn't even become a game that we play. Maybe this is something we put out that other people can play in this world.
Wow. I was just gonna say, and we've kind of done some stuff like that similarly, where we do the trivia night thing with the one episode in our regular Wanderful proper, and our discussions of stuff like Lamar and things like that, where it's it could be for the show or for the main story thing, or it could be its own little standalone thing, or it could be a story that has long since happened that has no bearing on. You know what I mean? Because I like playing in those.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with as of right now, I'm thinking of this as a somewhat critical.
Yeah.
But if this becomes its own series, we don't really have a locked in idea of what somewhat critical is. So that could be this.
Yeah, I think this is a portion of somewhat critical. I think that's fine. I think putting too much of a fine point on it doesn't really matter.
We don't know what we're doing.
That's the whole point of the show. It's exposition. We're doing Exposition, the podcast right now.
Hell yeah.
Yes. So let me introduce you all to the idea that I have been toying around with, and I think could be a fun starting point for us. I was watching a YouTube video by a creator whose name is, I can't remember which. It was a Pokemon YouTuber. It was either M&J TV or
is it not
PM7.
Not that guy that's creating a Pokemon for you. I don't
No,
know
no,
if I've
no,
ever
no,
seen
not
that
not.
guy.
Is that True Green 7?
I think no. That's the but I fuck with True Green 7 though.
I do too.
This dude, he used
Anyway.
to be on TikTok, and now he does his own like custom Pokemon art and stuff on YouTube now.
Very cool.
I've seen him from the beginning of his shit.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
But I was watching this YouTube video, and one of them just casually made a throwaway like line about I don't even remember what the actual line was. This is very much not like taking an idea or anything. But it kind of sparked an idea in me that a really fun like world idea or like skeleton that we could develop where and I'm trying to figure out how best to express this in an interesting way.
Fingers crossed that you're about to try to find the words to say what I'm thinking right now, and I'm trying to send psychic waves through the internet at you. Because I have an idea right off the top of my head just from what you were discussing based on it. Guys and their little guys.
Guys and their little guys. I don't know. I think Pokemon just trademarked that.
Guys and their little guys.
Topical. So basically, the general premise, I see what you're getting at. The general premise is that this is a world where the people have been more or less, from their perspective, abandoned by their gods. The world has fallen into disarray after centuries or whatever of thriving. Suddenly we're falling into disarray. Magic powers are waning. Crops are disappearing. Animals are going extinct. Things like that. Things are falling apart. And then after an amount of time, I don't know how long, say a century, maybe a couple generations. After an amount of time.
That's right. I've got
well, we need to talk about the implications before we set a time.
4
because
years.
After this amount, exactly, that can't work. It has to be enough time that generations have started to forget the old ways.
4,000
because
years.
after this period of time, the gods who disappeared finish regenerating and return to this world. So in the realm that the citizens would not know, in this world, the gods died in some way, some sort of event. The gods died, and the world started to feel the repercussions of that slowly kind of the lack of connection to those gods slowly started to affect the world. And then after all this time, the gods finish regenerating, and they suddenly are here, and all the magic powers are back. All the crops start flourishing again. And now, what does that civilization look like? And what did civilization look like before?
I do have an interesting concept.
Yeah,
So
I also have an idea.
What if?
Hit me with it.
So I know for some reason, and
No bad idea.
and this is kind of playing off of what you said in the preemptive text that you sent last week. So I really like the idea of humanity being the ones that killed the gods, but didn't realize the repercussions, and the shame of that repercussion wound up like expunging that from the history books. And now over time, generations pass, the newer generations believe that it was the gods that abandoned them, when really it was humanity that abandoned the gods.
I was about to say, and
Interesting.
Similarly in that vein, all the sort of elder folk, like it's not like obviously the people who were there when that happened are long dead, but the elders are the only people who would have any kind of like tangential knowledge of, oh shit, hey, magic is back. Like magic is back, not like what we've been kind of like working with and like whatever sort of like ways we've had to get around that.
I honestly picture that definitely. I think that is true for the general people, but I bet there are like churches or like monasteries where people like maintain the knowledge of the old ways or
that's what I'm saying. So
like try to keep those traditions up, even though the magic can't do what it used to. They still like keep that holy tradition. Maybe not holy, but
old library monks
Yeah.
There's a bunch of guys that hang out in a library that's like their house.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They just write and write and write. And some of them die at the thing and they just move their skeleton to
Why do you write like you're running out of time?
And they sit in their space, pick up the pen, see where they were leaving off, and like, oh yeah, I totally know where they were at. Blah, 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 and they just continue from there in that point in history.
Yeah, so I think with this series, some of the things we need to tackle, just as broad topics we need to tackle.
Okay.
What did the world look like before the gods died? How did the gods die? How did that materially affect the world?
Okay.
The gods finish regenerating and they're back. What does that do to civilization and to humanity, or not just humans, but because like some of the ideas that immediately come to mind for me are, now that all of this magic power is back and people forgotten how to use it, I feel like there's an arms race to be the first ones to master it.
Yep.
The most powerful person is no longer the most powerful person, and someone else can take over.
Yeah.
Like that feels both dangerous and also exciting.
Not to like.
I was gonna say.
Oh, what were you gonna say?
No, you're good. I feel like magic was like a faucet, right? It was dripping.
Yes.
Just
exactly how I'm picturing
little
it.
by little, and then somebody came in and turned the faucet on one day after years of that. So it's like, was this society storing any of that trickle down magic in some capacity?
Ooh.
You know,
Yeah.
like
Interesting.
Like, was magic being rationed in a society where they knew it was,
or was it being hoarded?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so an interesting idea that poses is, does magic have a physical property? Like, is it midichlorians? Or
I mean,
not that, but like, does it have like?
I've always pictured mana as a thing.
I think it's
like mana is.
I think it's mug root beer specifically.
This guy and his root beer, but no, I like the idea of it being some sort of flowy, like the fourth dimension, if you will, for lack of a better word, is like where magic is. We as people in this world pull from that because they know spells. They can speak to that place and be like, hey, come do fire out here. You know, hey,
it's almost like our version of like a dark matter, or like
I like this idea. I think it was, if I could say, maybe not necessarily a utopia, but people didn't really want for much because magic was just, everybody just lived in a society where magic was. Like magic just was. There was no, we got to ration this. Everybody was either doing magic or magic was interacting in their day-to-day. Think of it like the internet or like electricity in some capacity. Where it's
like, or like the world is a wizard city.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
Like it's just magic is a thing that just
like
is relevant.
I think internet is a great comparison because like
I have a job.
Can you imagine if like your internet just went out?
Like nobody there is like,
well,
like there's obviously people who know how to delve into magic more and do things more with magic, but I think it was such a everyday thing that like people didn't really care. Like there was nobody who wanted for much other than people who lacked the necessary means to obtain magic and use magic, I feel like. So like if there were people in this society who don't have any connection to magic, they're just normal guys. You know, maybe that's where warriors come from. That's where, you know, that kind of the melee combatants of it all, and like the non-magic users of the world are like that kind of thing. But like I don't think that I think that's very rare. I think that's like an unfortunate thing to be.
So in this world then magic is very much not something that's just innate in a person. It is a skill that you
tap into. Magic is around you like air. Whether or not you can use magic is entirely up to you and your diligence and your ability. Like a baker is probably like using magic to turn on an oven, but then there's a wizard up in a high tower who could like end that fucking city in a heartbeat with like a meteor or something, you know, but they're not in the same.
Do you think mana, so like the mana of the world, do you think it's like so overflowing that like it doesn't even matter, like resources wise?
Kind of going off of what Tyler, maybe almost like radiation, right?
Yeah.
The gods were giving off magic just by existing in the same plane as people.
So I was going to propose something about that. What if the mana, or whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, we could come up with even
this
magic
god
with a K.
That,
it could be that.
Yeah.
Yes, the magic god. What if that god was physically like almost like if we were to zoom out and look at the world, we have the globe or whatever, or the flat Earth.
Gotcha. Yes, of course.
We are
It's the
looking
Triforce.
at, let's say, at the fourth dimension. What if that god was just like a blob of magic that like is just like a living, kind of like an amoeba that just like the world is within.
It's a slime, dude. It's
essence.
the grand slime.
The grand slime.
And what if when it died, I want to figure out how to marry this with the faucet dripping idea, because I like that. What if like when it died, it
popped,
lost tons of its
size,
its presence. So like you could find pockets here or there to pull from, but not everywhere you could pull any.
No, I really like it.
What if you found a very magic heavy region, or like a cave that some of his
magic
essence
is like
or their
soaked
essence
into. Yes, exactly.
I kind of like the idea of this god being like an amoeba.
Oh yeah.
And going off of
God
like
is an amoeba.
Like Matt, I know it's crazy, but I like Matt's idea of like people being the reason why the gods died.
I do too.
What if like, and because I've had this imagery in my mind for a long time, so come with me. There are some people who are left after these gods died who are stained. They were stained. They were stained, like literally, physically. Okay. There's no getting around. You were involved with the death of the gods.
Oh, so like a Mark of Cain type thing.
Yes. They got great power from it, but it made them like burn at a faster rate than normal people and shit like that. And everyone knew, hey, you're the reason why shit's fucked. And so like this amoeba imagery of him like scattering around and like literally staining the world with his essence after he's dispersed in this way. Don't know how yet. Don't know what. Like they could be they could have been in the past an incredibly advanced people and did something. Maybe it was unintentional, Matt. Let's go in this space. Maybe they tried to reach wherever the gods were, didn't realize this one god has been like embodying sort of their universe to give them even a fraction of access to what the gods experience with magic. They permeate that god. Huge magic explosion. That kills the gods because no shit, you just like basically made like a god become a nuke. Yeah. The people who survived are now permanently scarred from this event. Some people also died. Yeah. People are like, oh fuck, something happened. They come back, don't tell a soul what the fuck happened. Yeah. And so it's this like shame over them of like, fuck, we killed the gods before we got a chance to meet them.
I almost picture like the amoeba like at certain like points it like burning away, like a hole turning into like a bigger hole and leaving empty space. And I feel like that mechanically can be how it's felt, where like you're seen, like, suddenly like having less potent magic, like as the essence is being pulled away.
So like kind of like ash falling to the ground, like it's like wounded pieces of him that like lay on the earth. That like, it's still decaying and going away because they're regenerating, whatever. And so that spot's like a little more magical than normal, but like the more they use it, the more it's fading away, the more that, but they can't necessarily perceive. I really like that. I like that a lot.
I do like that
imagery of like,
and this is all stuff the civilians would have no idea.
Only whoever
this is all just
the upper echelon of people. So like, do we see technological something or other that they were doing?
I think there's definitely mass chaos, because if you go from a resource that everyone's so dependent on to like absolutely not having like anything,
now it is a finite resource,
or like it's only available in certain areas, you're gonna have instant war over that. Like,
so I think the way that probably plays out mechanically is whenever this god dies, it's not like it's just suddenly no magic, obviously. As it's burning away, I think it is, like you said, Kyle, it is now a finite resource that these holes burn away faster whenever they're being used more heavily in those areas. So, like, less traveled areas are going to last a little longer because there's not as many people using everything it's got. That's really interesting.
I like that a lot.
I'm writing some of this down real quick.
Also, what's great is this is very much reminding me of it's giving me heavy Princess Mononoke vibes, and I want to go back and watch Princess Mononoke.
Yes, very much like
just whenever he becomes that like, big like blue blob or whatever, the spirit blob, and I'm like, I
mean, it inherently has global warming
Oh,
notes.
Yes,
global warming.
Because it's like the
using
thing,
oil.
the magic amoeba thing that was around them was almost like the ozone being broken up.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
for
it's the ozone.
I feel like, and unless y'all disagree, I do feel like I don't want it to just, and maybe it's one of the biggest things, but it's not just the magic.
Okay,
Because I want it to be that it seems, as far as we can tell,
so
all the gods died.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
Or
I think to see that too, I think maybe the world was also more fantastical at the time.
Well, you could think of it like this: if magic is a resource, think of it as the gods' direct influence to the world was magic. So there, as basically the connections are broken, or maybe there's like, almost think it almost like as a virus, and like something happened and
What
it's
if
eating
that God
away.
What if that God that was enveloping the world, not to cut you off, but what if that God
Yeah.
that was enveloping the world was almost like a vein or like a root that connected that plane where the gods were to
Exactly.
us,
Exactly.
but it was a living entity.
interesting.
And trying to circumvent that to get to the God realm, maybe it like fail safe and was like, oh, gotta go.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
I like this thing being sort of like the bridge between the mortal realm and the godhead, and so the gods aren't necessarily influencing us, but it kind of goes back to that, like, because we have this connection to their realm, we're getting like the runoff of their just existence, like like the radiation, so to speak, because we have this like dark matter vibe to it. But like, I love this idea of them not even trying to influence per se, but are almost like, because they are like, we wouldn't exist and things wouldn't exist in this universe had they not, been these fundamental forces of like, sort of like almost truths of the universe in a way. Like, the God of nature is why growth happens. The God of life and death is why people die.
Are they then
I'm crossing my
just
fingers.
doing
I had a
it?
fun idea. Because
Are
if
they
those
then
gods are
just
gone,
doing
are
it?
people dying? Are there zombies walking around while the gods were gone, dude? Because there's nobody shepherding souls, and you know what I mean.
I hadn't thought about that.
Because we don't even have to go so crazy as fantasy races. We could literally have the dead and the living and the unliving, like literally. Because
that is interesting.
Because where would they go? Where are their souls?
No,
going?
totally. They're completely severed from the rest of everything, and then that's so interesting. Then also because after these generations of this being just the way it is, suddenly the gods are back and these people are all whisked away.
Yeah, I was thinking that, or even
they got Thanos snapped. Oh shit!
The people that were still here, they get Thanos snapped. The stained ones remain here. The ones who were there during the cataclysm that disconnected shit, they are still here. They're still dead. They're still fucked up with the magic and shit like that.
Interesting. Yeah.
The gods don't want nothing to do with those guys.
So then, can birth happen?
I think once the gods come back, maybe. That's what I'm saying.
No. During this long period of time, can no one be born then?
I think maybe so. I think that they both are like, I think it's both, because we're saying the animals are going extinct as well. Yeah. Like, I think so. I think there is not only is there finite magic, there's a finite number of people that are alive, I'll say. I won't even say.
Well, they can't die.
Then,
I see what you mean.
Say, so maybe then, whenever the gods die off, maybe then old age and things like that go away.
Like they pause.
They basically pause, and you can still die by like getting killed or falling off something. Like those things can still happen, but your soul or whatever we want to do with that will not be whisked away. Will they be, I guess maybe then they would be forced to exist on the same plane as everyone else because there's nowhere for them to go.
Yeah.
So
I think
they're still in their body, but they're all fucked up now.
Me out.
I don't know.
I think that after the event, whatever happens, I think, because this is generations of time, so I think naturally
roll a dice
over
about it,
time.
damn it. Tyler, pick 1,000, pick 10,000, or pick like bigger number. And then I'll roll
Let's do
a
hundreds.
dice.
Hundreds.
Okay, I'm rolling a D20.
D20.
Yep, that's a natural 20.
A natural 20.
I'm not joking with you. I can take a picture.
2,000 years.
2,000 years since the
okay,
gods.
Well, hold up. I just want to ask: is that too much time if no one can be born? Like, is 2,000 years enough that everyone statistically will be dead? And maybe that's part of it. Maybe when the gods come back, they like. Maybe we give these people another chance.
Okay.
Everyone gets reincarnated as a slime.
No. Listen,
Okay.
so we made the thing about that one god being sort of the connection to the god space and the mortal space. There's no connection to the god place anymore. When the gods come back, they would come back here and we would be shunted to their place. We would swap.
Okay.
The gods are on Earth. We're in the god space, no gods.
Say that again?
So if we're talking about it from the logic
Yeah.
of when the gods come back, those people are Thanos snap.
Yeah.
How
Well,
would the
I don't
gods
think-
get back to their home space?
Well, I was saying that whenever the gods, like, I was more thinking when that connection is reestablished, they are
Okay.
then forced to the whatever the dying world is.
Okay.
If they
What-
died, but
Is
maybe
that's
if
what I'm
it
saying.
gets to the point where only a handful of people are alive,
Mhm.
maybe all those dead people do get shunted away to the dying world, and there's only a few people left, and then the gods recognize this and need to figure out a plan to fix things.
Because I don't see.
Maybe
I don't think it would be
I made it okay.
overcrowded.
You could
I did real quick.
theoretically.
I did propose in my text the idea of once the gods come back, maybe they send new messiahs. Maybe they do kind of start to do that and like start to repopulate the world themselves. But those people are joining with people who've been there the whole time, the people who did survive. So then there is like this group of people who have been around for 2,000 years, if that's what we're looking at, that have to coexist with these new people who don't
Okay, so
have
kind
any.
of maybe the stained people aren't necessarily all the complicit parties, but maybe in that moment, that's the people. Who
Maybe
are
the
like,
stained people are forced to.
They lived the 2,000 years while they watch everybody who wasn't die off, and it's this last population of people who were like affected by the shit. And then when the gods come back, they're like, "Oh fuck, y'all should be dead, but something's off. Let's give y'all a second chance here,
Interesting. Yeah.
and we'll help y'all repopulate." Blah blah blah. And it's like
You
now they
could-
have to live with all of this on top. You know what I mean? Like they're their
You could
own
theoretically create a hierarchy of gods in a sense. So you could say like the god of life and the god of death. Like they're the two great creators of the universe. Like they were the first two. And like this is like, you know,
Let's not go cliche life and death. But
I was about
Yes,
to say
yes.
I
What
kind
about
of
light
want
and shadow?
to.
Light and shadow. I like
Well,
that motif.
not even in that way. I would love to stay away from life and death or light and shadow being the top two because they're
Yeah.
always the top two.
okay.
Maybe we could have different tops, and maybe there's they're still like up there. Maybe they're on the council. They're not.
Maybe
they're
something
not
more
Joe
broad.
Blow.
Like I like the idea of like nature encompassing both life and death and growth and that kind of mentality where it's where it's more of where it's less of two entities and it's like one dude that runs the whole cycle.
Well, I guess I'm pulling inspiration from the Critical Role universe a little bit in the sense of the Raven Queen.
Oh yeah,
she's
but her
kind
story
of
is crazy because
her story is
from a
nuts.
human being.
Yes. But there was a Raven Queen, so to speak, before her, and essentially that person like is over life, or that god is over life and death, essentially.
And death. Yeah.
But
think
the
let's
whole
not go
deal
so
with them is
broad.
they're kind of like separate in a sense, like they're isolated from the other gods, like they kind of do their own thing.
Already,
so
I was gonna say, I feel like we already have that with magic. Our magic god is isolated from the other gods as like this sort of.
I think the magic god is the connector of all the gods, not the isolator. I think he's the connector piece.
Maybe like we're unnecessarily personifying them.
That's what I'm saying.
They aren't all like a guy or a lady.
Yes.
Maybe it is more.
This is the
nebulous
one thought I had before.
I'm using a person as the idea, but yeah.
Before I even got into this with us, I had this idea of a god of both like time and I had one other concept, but it was
space.
A machine. No. But like the god itself was like not alive in the sense of us what we think, but it was so much grander than us that it's like it's beyond life because it's like this thing that just is, and it's just like a constant, like almost like a living clock, if you will.
Yeah,
it's like
a celestial
imposed
clock
into time. And so when the gods disappeared, I think it didn't necessarily disappear, but it just stopped.
Oh,
it just turned off. The whole machine that was this god just
like the grandfather, just like.
Like all the major cogs of the piece went missing.
And it was and it's just essentially a derelict like building or space.
Yeah.
And when the gods were rebirthing and coming back, that's when it started coming back online, all the things.
Interesting.
I kind of like
that. But that's the only thought that I
like
had
that.
for that god. Like
I
love the idea of the gods all being very different from one another. Not so much, we could have a Princess Mononoke-esque animal god that's like a multi-headed beast thing or something. And also like the fucking crazy living clock.
Yeah.
So before we get together to do this again, let's figure out which and if one of those like world building games would fit best for what we're looking at.
Ooh,
we can look into a few of those, and maybe we can do another one of those with some of these ideas. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Because I think this is fun. I like this idea already of like, especially the concept I got to write down of these people, these last living quote unquote people who were here for like 2,000 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think even I could see, some other people also surviving, not just the scarred ones.
Yes.
But very few.
I'm thinking like, so the whole concept that like people can't die unless they're killed, and then they become like undead essentially.
Yeah, I think.
Okay. So
we could be ghosts. We could, we could figure it out.
I was thinking maybe their body really rots away or something, but is rot a thing? Like, do things decay?
Yeah. Maybe they become skeletons.
Yeah. Well, my idea is
I'm not skeleton.
I do love me a good skeleton.
Maybe the stained are skeletons. They're
I'm thinking like towards the direct like first
love that,
the first like 100 years or so after this whole like thing happens, there's going to be constant war, constant killing, but at some point they have to decide like, hey, we can't do this cuz like we're gonna kill each other, and we're just creating more undead essentially. So they all just agree to not like kill each other, and people are eventually gonna like accidentally die, or there's gonna be small little like
of the
disputes.
Undead immediately being like, I'm gonna go hang out with other undead for some reason. Like they don't know why, but they're like, I'm drawn to hang out with other undead. Let's go do that.
And I think there's a lot of interesting things to come out of this idea of them like living amongst the undead, because that's just the way things are for so long. Like, I think, whenever you die, you probably stop being hungry, so you don't require food resources anymore. So like, I bet some people like do that sacrificially, like to help their families.
I'm just fasting
because they get to stick around, but then they obviously don't know what the repercussions will be if things ever get fixed or get better.
I think they probably maybe some of the maybe that's what I'm saying. So maybe we make the distinction that people who are still there, who weren't affected, are still experiencing, well, we gotta still eat, maybe? I don't know, that's so tough to say, like, because like if they're just in this frozen place where they don't need to, like, would they want to survive? What's to stop everybody from going, hey, we're all undead now because we fucking offed ourselves because this is terrible?
Yeah, I guess because then, like, if all the gods died, did time stop? Like, literally?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The clock stops.
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh.
Hold on.
Dr. Stone.
Hold on. I'm cooking. Exactly, Matt. You were in the same. The people who were left on Earth.
Yeah.
frozen in time. Everything's frozen. There's no extinction. All the stuff that was outside of that parameter, that permeated barrier place where they fucked up, frozen, stuck. It's done. Shit's not growing. Shit's not rotting. Shit's not moving. Shit's done. They are moving because they're fucked up and stained with that God's shit. Have to live for 2,000 years seeing everyone and everything as a statue. Having to try to figure shit out. That becomes infighting. It's like because it's a large group of people went on this expedition. It's not just
so
like 10
that's what I was
guys.
gonna ask. Is it like
I'm rolling another dice. This one's
like,
gonna be a smaller dice.
Maybe it's like multiple like
Thousands.
governments
D6.
all we're exploring. Maybe there's like maybe there was like a
D6
space
plus
race.
1,000 as well.
Maybe there was like a space race where all of the world powers and their teams were trying to be the first to crack this thing.
That's exactly right.
All of those groups all become the Scarred.
4,000.
Right, so 4,000 people from varying groups, maybe split 2,000 each of these two different, like, at the time, factions trying to make it to this place. Like, maybe one group
Let's say
was trying
4 factions, 1,000 for each.
There you go. Perfect. Yeah. And they like one group maybe was trying to go see the gods. One group was going to try to confront the gods. One group was trying to fucking warn the gods. And one group
And the other group was trying to fuck the gods. Oh,
no,
sorry.
no. The other group was trying to stop the
other 1,000 were bards.
It's a bunch of bards being like, we gotta stop. Imagine all the people. That's a COVID reference.
That's interesting. So if we're doing that then, so the Scarred people,
It's 4,000
they don't die. They just have to live for 2,000
with the consequences
years.
of what fucking went down.
So what happens whenever everything returns to normal?
I think it's just
because
does time catch up? Oh fuck, that'd be even scarier. As you watch like plants just fucking just roaring to life and growing.
I think.
Shit.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Fucking time lapse dying and becoming corpses. Like that's fucked up.
What if the areas that weren't burnt out, those people survive, but the areas that lost their magic, like the holes in the amoeba or whatever, like those people get snapped out instantly.
The places that got touched by the magic still, like that had the magic pockets, aren't affected, but everywhere else starts to
like basically everything that was touched by the magic was preserved, but everything that lost its really magical core, they basically just exploded.
So here's an issue I'm having with time being stopped for everyone except the Scarred people. What then is the conflict of civilization trying to survive for this 2,000 years or figure out how to go on if it's just the Scarred people?
Maybe they realize it as they're starting to communicate and they're like, hey, the world's fucking frozen. Maybe we need to figure out a way to like do this, and they just spend a lot of their time poring over researching how to bring the gods back. Maybe that's how the gods are regenerated. Maybe they bring them back. Maybe they spend that 2,000 years looking into how to right that wrong, knowing that they're fucking staying, and then that breaks people off into factions because there was the one group that already was like, fuck the gods. We were going up there to confront them in the first place. There's the other group that was like, when the gods get back, we're going to fucking tell on you. Oh, man, we're going to tell on you. You know,
but
mentality.
Where I'm having an issue with that is they no longer have the magic that they had.
I thought you said that there's... Well, I thought we established that there's some
there's pockets, but
so they're like...
If with unfettered access, they were struggling to get there...
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm thinking of them trying to like use resources that they have and trying to go and absorb and like store this magic somehow to do these kinds of things.
I think that I think I don't love all of the people being totally frozen. Yeah. I think maybe the people aren't frozen, but the environment's frozen.
Okay.
Because I think that what makes this interesting for me, at least, and I'm willing to be overruled, I think what makes this interesting for me is society trying to figure out how to go on.
Well, maybe
now
some
that they
of them.
don't have full magic.
We talked about that kind of vibe, and we were talking about the
well, I know,
thing.
but like
maybe some of society is frozen, and like we were talking about the pocket.
Maybe
it
it's
could
like
just be like
maybe the epicenters of where it happened. Maybe they're frozen, but the rest of the world isn't.
Yes.
Well,
so maybe
it could
like
be
that 4,000 people,
because the implications of that are like animals and like mythical creatures running by and picking up a frozen guy, and now your friend's dead because he just got eaten by a thing that doesn't understand he's frozen out of time. And these things are probably also panicking because like there's the show The Leftovers. where like a certain portion of the population they assume got raptured. They don't really explain quite what happened to these people, but the dogs in the world that saw their owners disappear as they were like on walks or playing with them snapped and went feral and started like roaming the streets after that because they were like, oh, they're gone. So like animals would react to the fact that other animals, other beings and things like that are gone. Hyper intelligent creatures like dragons and stuff, if we want to go that far fantasy wise, like they'll see other dragons frozen and be like, oh, this is my opportunity to go steal their horde. Wait, something's wrong, something's off, you know, like, and then they're trying to do their own sort of research in that regard, in that respect. And like tribal animals and things like that, other like non on the grid kind of types that are like, this is clearly a test from the gods, like blah blah blah. And now there's a cult out there that's like, we just gotta fully, you know, wait it out and the gods will come back, you know, or something. Or even the inverse where it's like a cult spurns out of those guys who were going to confront them. Look at that. They fucking shut us out before we could even get there. They can't even wrap their minds about the fact that they fucked up. And so they think this is a test from the gods against, you know, there's all kinds of fun little ways we can go with it. But I like that some of the population almost gets like Pompeyed, if you will, like not in a negative sense, but like they're quite literally frozen or like out of time, maybe even out of time. Maybe it's like a hologram, like you can't touch that person, like that person doesn't.
Shit.
You know, like
kind of like they got fade.
No, I knew you were gonna go there. No, not my mom.
Like maybe they're like, because there's the scar, like they're the scarred, and these people are like kind of echoing that. Maybe it's like pieces, fragments of them, just like in the last moments of whatever they were doing. You know, a dragon mid-flight just like kind of blocking out a portion of the sun for a town. Like that's fucked up and scary. Like it's not that it's falling. It's not that it's dead. It's just there.
Yeah. Here's an idea. What if, so at these epicenters, those people are frozen in time. What if everyone in those epicenters isn't the scarred? What if the scarred are specifically
the people who went out into the outer realm?
Went out? Exactly. Now, what if those people were, and once again, this isn't them experiencing this is us seeing it. What if the thing happens and suddenly everyone's frozen, they're scarred, whatever, their like flesh is burned away, however we want to do that.
I think over
what
time
if the scarred people,
I don't think they start as skeletons.
What if the scarred people,
because they're going to be skeletons, everybody, they're going to be skeletons. What
if the scarred people get like I like the frozen people being like memories etched into like inaccessible, like you can't touch them. But what if the scarred people, that happened, but they were like doubled, like they almost like shot like through themselves and like left the scar, but they're also here. It's like maybe this new person doesn't have any memory of this, but they are scarred. They have this specific look that only a handful of people, like maybe they wake up, you know, later on and have no idea what's going on.
Because they were whisked away, like kind of with the gods in that way. And it's like whatever's coming off of them is almost like essence, like memory of like what they used to be.
Oh my god, Jesus!
Fucking, that's crazy. I like that.
Constant wispy memories.
Just like
flying off their bodies.
Imagery, just imagery of like thoughts and things, just abstract shit from their past life, just flying through these like flames or like smoke. Or something. I'm picturing it's like dry ice, like it's just this constant fog. Because they were in space,
I like that.
Not fire, but just like this, like drifting, like wispy, ghosty, fucked up shit.
All right, so next time we do this, we'll hopefully have an idea for one of those games that we can try to develop these ideas further. I like where we're at.
I like
and I hope you've enjoyed listening to it.
Tune in next week for another exciting episode of something like Critical, maybe, or something on Sad High Five.
Whatever the fuck we call
something like that.
High five.
Goodbye.
That's me. High five. I'm high fiving myself.
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Yeah.